Hello scholars, welcome to Dakshinai classroom. Until now in this chapter of alternating current, we have covered what is alternating current. We have covered different types of alternating current. We have covered different types of AC circuits, that is RC circuit, RL circuit, LCR circuit, like that. And we have also seen what is the power consumed in all these circuits. We have also covered what is the potential, RMS potential across all these components, resistance, capacitor, your inductor and all that. Now in this lecture, we are going to talk about a new phenomenon or a little bit variation of the previous one. Previously we had seen resonance. So here we are going to talk about a little variation of resonance, which is called your LC oscillations. Now what happens in an LC oscillation? Here I have an inductor and here I have a capacitor. So in today's lecture we will cover only LC oscillation and we will solve few questions based on LCR circuit. That's it. Okay. So what happens in an LC oscillation? That first, let us say that this capacitor is initially charged. So capacitor is initially charged to a potential V. That is some potential. What is that potential? That we are not concerned with. That is not relevant to our discussion. So initially capacitor is charged to a potential V. What is that potential? That is not relevant for our discussion. Okay. So capacitor is charged initially. So what happens if I close this switch? This switch is initially open. Before t equal to 0, that switch was open. So switch is closed at t equals 0. Switch is closed at t equals 0. At t equal to 0, if switch is closed, then what will happen? So let us say switch is closed at t equal to 0. What will happen? Immediately, suppose that initially this was CV, this was minus CV. And if I close this switch, so their capacitor is already charged. So capacitor will work like a power source and capacitor will try to establish a current in this circuit. So when this switch is closed at t equals 0, capacitor starts discharging. So the capacitor starts discharging and it tries to establish a current in this circuit. So what I can write? After switch is closed, capacitor starts discharging and it builds a current in circuit like this. Now what is the effect of building current in the circuit? So let us suppose this current I is built up in the circuit. So here there will be I like this. And if you remember, because of the current, so capacitor is discharging and as the capacitor discharges, current changes. So because this current is changing, what will happen? There will be an EMF induced across the inductor. So what I can write? This current build up by capacitor will be non-uniform. It will be continuously decreasing because as soon as the capacitor starts discharging, charge on the capacitor decreases, and as the charge decreases, your current will also become changing. So since that current will be changing, there will be an induced EMF across the inductor. So here I can write, this will lead to induced EMF across inductor like this. So across the inductor there will be an induced EMF. So pause the video, note it down, then we will discuss further why it is called LC oscillation. So now what is happening? Now there is an induced EMF in this inductor. So induced EMF will be like what? This will be positive and this will be negative end. So what will happen? This induced EMF will try to drive the current in the opposite direction. So what is happening? Initially the capacitor was charged. Capacitor drove the current in this direction, which induced EMF across the inductor, and the energy of the capacitor was transferred to the inductor. Now what is happening? Now the inductor has the energy. So now the inductor will try to drive the current in the opposite direction. So what I can say? This induced EMF will drive the current in opposite direction, because initially what was happening? Initially the capacitor was charged, capacitor drove the current. Because of the current, this inductor stored some energy in the form of magnetic field. Now that magnetic field has energy and capacitor has become discharged. Now what will happen? This magnetic field energy will be driven again back in the circuit, and back again the capacitor will become charged. So this induced EMF in the inductor, because this is positive, this is negative. So in this way. So induced EMF will drive the current in the opposite direction, and because of this current, now the capacitor will be charged again. So this will charge the capacitor back again. So what is happening? Initially the capacitor was charged, it had some electric field energy. That energy was transferred to the inductor, magnetic field energy. That magnetic field energy is again transferred back to the capacitor, and that again back, and that again back. This keeps on happening. So this transfer keeps on occurring. So what I can say here? Electric field energy was transferred to the magnetic field energy. Magnetic field energy is transferred back to the electric field energy. Again like this, again like this. This keep on happening. So you can write it like this: electric field energy, like this, and let us write here magnetic field energy. Magnetic field energy. So what happened? Electric field energy back to the magnetic field energy, magnetic field energy back to electric field energy, and this keep on happening. This keeps on occurring. First electric to magnetic, magnetic to electric, again keep on occurring. So this is a cycle. These cycles keep on repeating. So this cycle keeps on repeating like this. Now, if that cycle keeps on repeating, then there must be a frequency of this cycle, meaning how many times this cycle repeats in 1 second. So that frequency of this cycle is similar to the frequency what we have studied in case of resonance. So cycle repeats, or what is the more sophisticated word for the repeating cycle? Oscillates. Oscillates with a frequency of mu equals, remember what was the frequency in resonance? 1 by 2 pi under root of LC. So that is the frequency of oscillation. So if initially there is an inductor, there is a capacitor, and initially the capacitor is charged, you attach a charged capacitor to an inductor, then this will occur. First capacitor will charge inductor, then inductor will charge back capacitor, then again, that will keep on occurring. At what frequency? Mu equals 1 by 2 pi under root LC, where L is the inductance, C is the capacitance. Now if you pay attention, that frequency is independent of what was the initial voltage with which you charge your capacitor. As I said, V is irrelevant to our discussion of LC oscillation. So no matter how much high voltage you charge your capacitor to, your frequency of the oscillation will not change. Pause the video, note them down. Now let us solve few questions based on your LCR circuit more. And this topic, LC oscillation, is a very easy topic. There's not many questions. What you can just say is frequency of the LC oscillation is same as the frequency of resonance. That's it. So let us solve the question based on LCR circuit. We will solve few questions, then we will wrap up. Okay. So here there is a circuit diagram. There is a power source 230 volt RMS and 100 by pi hertz your frequency. Here is an inductor, inductance 0.1 Henry. Here is a capacitor, capacitance 50 microfarad. Okay. Now, first thing I need to find what is I naught and IRMS. Now, in order to find I naught or IRMS in this circuit, here there is no resistance. Then I have to find the impedance of the circuit. So, in case impedance is what? Under root of R square plus XC minus XL square. But here R is 0. So, what you can say? XC minus XL square, that is impedance. And if you want to find XC and XL, then what you will do? XC equals 1 by omega times C. What is omega? Here 100 by pi is frequency and omega by 2 pi is frequency. So omega is nothing but frequency times 2 pi. So that will be 200. So this will be equal to 1 by 200 times C. What is C? 50 microfarad. So 50 10 to the power 6 like this upward. So XC will be equal to how much? 3 times cancel 1000 divided by 10, that is 100. So 100 ohm. So your XC is equal to 100 ohm. 250 microfarad, correct. One more thing you can do. Okay, let's say 50 microfarad. Okay. Okay, what is XL? XL is omega times L. So omega times L. What is omega? Omega we have already calculated, 200 times L. What is L? 0.1. So that is nothing but 20. Correct. So that is 20 ohm. So here XC is 100 ohm and XL is 20 ohm. So in this case, if I want to find what is XC minus XL, so that would be how much? Remember, under root you can remove, so it will be 100 minus 20, that is 80 ohms. So effective resistance of the circuit, even though there is no resistance, effective resistance, which is impedance of the circuit, can be said to be 80 ohms. Okay. Now IRMS. So if you remember, IRMS is nothing but ERMS divided by Z, like this. So what is ERMS? 230. What is Z? 80. 0, 0 cancel, that is 23 by 8 ampere, like this. So that is your IRMS. Now, so if this is the case, now what I can say? In this case, let us suppose second is I naught. So I naught is nothing but what? IRMS is I naught root 2. I naught by root 2. So I naught is IRMS times root 2. So here you can say, sir, I naught is nothing but IRMS times root 2, which is equal to what? 23 by 8 times root 2. That is your I naught. So this way you can solve IRMS, I naught. Just you need to find effective resistance, which is impedance. And in this case, there is no resistance, actual resistance of the circuit. So simply XC minus XL square. Okay. Second is VLRMS and VCRMS, meaning RMS voltage across your inductor and RMS voltage across your capacitor. Now how you can do that? Here let us erase this. Here what you can say, sir, VLRMS is nothing but IRMS times XL, like this, that we have already studied. So IRMS is how much? Just we have calculated 23 by 8. So this will be 23 by 8 times XL. And what is XL? 20, like this. So that can be 2, 5. So that would be 5, 10, 115. 115 by 2. So that is VLRMS. What about VCRMS? VCRMS. That would be how much? That would be your IRMS times XC. What is XC? XC is your 100. So 23 by 8 times 100, like this. And if you pay attention, this is nothing but 5 times this value. This value is 5 times this, because here is 20, there it is 100. So this will be your 575, yes, 575 by 2 volt. That is your VC. Now if you remember from the previous lecture, in case of L, C or R or any combination of these circuits, we cannot simply add the voltage. We cannot simply add VRMS across this and VRMS across this. If you add, what you will get? Add these two. What you will get? 500, 600, 75, 80, 90. 690 divided by 2. 690 divided by 2 is how much? 345. So 345, that is obviously greater than your source voltage. So voltage across these two should be equal to your source voltage. But when you are simply adding them, what you are getting? You are getting more than the source voltage. So what you will do? So if you remember that they cancel each other, meaning let us say this is a series circuit. In series circuit, what happens? Suppose that this is current. In case of a capacitor, current leads voltage by how much? Pi by 2. So voltage of the capacitor will be shown like this. And L, in case of inductor, current lags voltage by pi by 2. So voltage of the inductor will be like this. So what would be total voltage? Since here VC is greater than VL, total voltage VC minus VL. So 575 minus 115. Why minus? Because according to the vector sum. If there was a resistor also, then you would have done vector sum. So 575 minus 115, how much? 460. Okay, 460 divided by 2. What is 460 by 2? 230. You are getting the correct. So in case of any combination of L, C and R, what you should do? You should do vector addition. So pause the video, note it down, then we will solve the last one. Now very simple, they are asking what is average power of inductor, capacitor and circuit. If you remember, we have already studied that in case of an inductor, ideal inductor, what is ideal inductor? That there is no internal resistance of this inductor. So in case of an ideal inductor, there is no energy consumed or there is no energy loss in the form of heat. Meaning, if I talk about average power of an inductor, so the average power of the inductor will be 0, meaning that inductor is not consuming any energy. For example, you talk about LCR circuit. So we have already studied that in case of an LCR circuit, all the power is consumed by your resistor, not the inductor, not the capacitor. So here average power of the inductor, PL. What you will say? Inductor itself does not loses any heat. So average power of the inductor will be written as 0. In the same way, capacitor also does not loses any heat, assuming that there is no internal resistance in any of those. So average power of capacitor will also be 0. And since there is no resistance in this circuit, there is no resistance anywhere and they are ideal capacitor and ideal inductor. So what I will say? Total power, P average of this circuit will also be 0. Now there is another way of verifying this. What is the P average for a LCR circuit that we have already studied? That is ERMS, IRMS cos phi. This we have already studied. Here ERMS we already know. IRMS 23 by 8 we have already calculated. What about cos phi? If you remember, cos phi can also be written as capital R divided by Z. Now what is the R in this circuit? R in this circuit is 0. So if R is 0, then cos phi is also 0. So if cos phi is 0, what is this average power? 0. Meaning in this circuit, there will be no loss of power. Meaning there will be no energy loss in this circuit. There will be no energy consumption in this circuit. First energy will be supplied, then energy will be returned back. Pause the video, note it down, then we'll solve another question. Let us solve another question based on your LCR circuit resonance. Here the question is, in an LCR circuit which is in resonance, if capacitance is made 1/4. So there is an LCR circuit which is in resonance, and what we are doing, if the capacitor is made 1/4, what should be changed in inductance so that the circuit remains in resonance? Now, so here we are not changing, or we are not making any changes in the power source, meaning the frequency of the power source remains same. So on that same frequency, if the capacitor is changed, what should be the change in inductance so that resonance is maintained? Okay. Now what is the frequency in an LCR circuit which is in resonance? Mu is equal to 1 by 2 pi under root of LC. Now frequency depends on the source. So if source is not changing, my frequency should remain constant. So if capacitor is changed, capacitor is made 1/4. So what you will say? 1 by 2 pi under root of L dash, new inductance, C divided by 4, like this. So here 2 pi cancel, C cancel, what you will get? 1 by root over of L equals 2 divided by root over of L dash, like this. And solve this. What you will get? Square both side. So L dash is nothing but 4 times L. Meaning in an LCR circuit, if the frequency of the source is not changing and you are making capacitor 1/4 and you want your circuit to remain in resonance, then inductor should be made 1/4. Inductor should be made 4 times the previous value. Very easy question. You can pause the video and note it down. Let us solve another question based on LCR resonance. Here there is an LCR circuit and the source is given in 100 root 2 volt RMS and 150 by pi hertz frequency. Okay. Now what they are saying is, if capacitor is removed, current lags by 60 degree. If you remove the capacitor, then it will be an inductive circuit. And in case of an inductive circuit, current lags. And what is the phase by which current lags? So you can write tan phi. Tan phi is XL divided by R, like this. First case, when the capacitor is removed. So in this case, tan phi is XL by R, and what is that? 60 degree. And what is tan 60 degree? Tan 60 degree is root 3, like this. What about the second case? If inductor is removed, current leads voltage by 60 degree. If the inductor is removed, this circuit will behave like a capacitive circuit. In case of a capacitive circuit, current leads. So in the second case, what you will write? Tan phi dash, let us say, is nothing but XC divided by R, and that is also root 3 because 60 degree. So from here you can say XL equals root 3R, and from here you can say XC equals root 3R. Now what was the resonance condition? Resonance condition was XC should be equal to XL, and here that is true, that is coming to be true. So in this case, in this circuit, your XC and XL are equal, meaning what? Meaning circuit is in resonance. What is the meaning of circuit to be in resonance? Meaning the inductor and capacitor, they are cancelling each other's effect, and this circuit will behave like a purely resistive circuit. So find the power dissipated in the circuit. What is power? P average. So P average is ERMS, IRMS, cos of, let us say, phi double dash. Why I am writing phi double dash? Because this phi is different from this phi and this phi. This is calculated when there is no capacitor. This is calculated when there is no inductor. And this is calculated when all three are connected in the circuit. And what about this phi? What is this phi? This phi is, if you remember, R by Z. And when XL equals XC, then Z is equal to R. So this cos phi is equal to 1. In case of a resonance, this cos phi is 1. So what is power dissipated? ERMS times IRMS. And what is IRMS? IRMS is nothing but ERMS divided by Z, and Z is equal to R. So ERMS square divided by R, like this. Now what is R here? R is already given 100. So what is ERMS? 100 root 2. So 100 root 2 square whole divided by 100 again. So that will be how much? That will be your 200 watt. So power generated in this circuit is 200 watt. Why? Because this circuit is in resonance. The inductor and the capacitor, they are cancelling each other's effect, and in this circuit impedance is equal to R and cos phi is equal to 1. You can pause the video and note it down. Let us solve another question based on your LCR circuit resonance. Here it is given in an LC circuit, meaning there is only inductance and capacitance. So like this. Let us say this is L, this is C, and it is connected to an AC source. Okay. So in LC circuit connected to an AC source of ERMS 24 volt and variable frequency. Meaning here ERMS is given as 24 volt, but frequency is variable. It can be varied. Frequency maximum current is 6 ampere. So in case of circuits like this, when the maximum current is observed when the circuit is in resonance. When the circuit is in resonance, in that condition maximum current is observed. But here they have given I naught max. I naught maximum is what? E naught divided by R. That is your maximum current. But in this case, there is no resistance. If there is no resistance, then this R should be 0. And if this R should be 0, then maximum current should be infinity. But why there is only 6 ampere? There is 6 ampere means one of these two components, either C or L, must have some resistance. They are not ideal. Meaning, as we have solved one question before based on this, I think that this inductor is not ideal. So what is happening here? This inductor has some internal resistance. The wire of the inductor have some resistance. So what is that resistance? This I naught maximum is given as 6. This E naught is how much? 24 root 2 divided by R. So this R of inductor is nothing but 4 root 2 ohm. Meaning this inductor is not an ideal inductor. Ideal inductor has 0 resistance. In this case, coils of the inductor, wires from which the coil of the inductor is made, have how much your resistance? 4 root 2 ohm. Okay. So since wire themselves have some resistance, what they are saying now? If inductor from this circuit is connected to a battery of EMF 12 volt, okay, let us remove this and connect this to a battery of 12 volt and internal resistance 4 ohm. There is an internal resistance of the battery. How much? 4 ohm. The battery is also not ideal. What will be the current now? So what is the current in the case of battery? Nothing but I is equal to EMF of the battery divided by capital R plus small r. Here capital R will be based on inductor. Now why we are not considering inductance in this case? We are not considering inductance in this case because in case of a battery, omega is 0. If omega is 0, XC is 0. So that way we are not considering. So here you can just like this. So EMF is 12. So this will be 12 divided by R. What is capital R? 4 root 2. What is small r? R. 4. So 4 times root 2 plus 1. That would be nothing but 3 divided by root 2 plus 1. And if you remember, you can also simplify this a little bit. How? You can write this as 3 times root 2 minus 1 as well. Multiply and divide with root 2 minus 1. So that much is the ampere current in the battery. You can pause the video and note it down. Let us solve another question based on your LCR circuit before we wrap up our today's lecture. So this circuit is given. We have to find number 1 IRMS, number 2 VCRMS, VLRMS, VRRMS. Okay. So first, in order to find IRMS, first I need to know what is impedance of the circuit. And in order to know the impedance, I need to know what is the reactance of capacitor, what is reactance of your inductor. So let us find. So here XC, reactance of your capacitor, that would be how much? 1 by omega C, 1 by omega times C. What is omega? Here frequency is 50 by pi, so omega is 2 pi mu, so that is 100. So that would be 1 by 100 times C. What is C? 20 microfarad, so 10 to the power 6 here. So that would be how much? 1000 divided by 2, that is 500 ohm. So your XC is 500 ohm. What about XL? XL is how much? Omega times L. So 100 times L, which is 1. So that is 100 ohm. So here as you can see, XC is greater than XL. So if somebody asks what kind of circuit this is, it is behaving like a capacitive circuit or an inductive circuit. So it will behave like a capacitive circuit. Okay, they have not asked, but still. Capacitive circuit. Okay. Now if it is a capacitive circuit, now I need to find the impedance of the circuit. What is impedance? Z is nothing but under root of R square plus XC minus XL square, which is how much? Under root of R. What is R? 300. 300 square plus XC minus XL. What is XC? 500. So 500 minus 100 is 400 square, like this, which is again equal to 500 ohm. So impedance of the circuit also 500 ohm. Okay. Now the impedance is 500, then what is IRMS? IRMS is nothing but your ERMS divided by Z. And what is ERMS? ERMS is given as 50 divided by Z, that is 500. So that is equal to 0.1 ampere. So that's how you can find the IRMS in an LCR circuit. You can pause the video, note this down, then we will solve the next part of the question. Okay, let us solve the next part of the question. Now next part of this question says find the RMS value across these three components of the potential. Okay, so if you remember VCRMS, VCRMS is nothing but IRMS times XC. What is IRMS? Now we have calculated IRMS. 50 volt 500. So 50 by 500 0.1. So we can say 0.1 times XC, and XC we have already calculated to be 500. So that would be 50 volt, like this. What about VLRMS? VLRMS is nothing but IRMS times XL. XL we had calculated how much? 100. So that is IRMS, so that would be 10 volt, like this. What about VRRMS? RMS voltage across the resistor. So IRMS times capital R, which is 30 volt. Now as I have told you before, in case of an LCR circuit, you cannot just add them. You cannot just add. So what would be potential? Let us say if I say across point A and B. What would be potential across all three of them? So VAB. So VAB will be nothing but, as we have already studied, we will have to use vector form. So VR square plus VL, or VC minus VL square, like this. So what is VR? Here 30. So under root of 30 square plus VC, 50 minus 10. So 40 square. So that is how much? 50 volt. So that is the ERMS of the source. So meaning what we are doing is correct. Pause the video, note it down. So this was your LCR circuit and LC oscillation. Until now we have solved almost all kinds of questions from your LCR circuit and AC circuit. We have solved LCR circuit, we have solved RL circuit, RC circuit, purely capacitive, purely resistive, and almost everything. Now in the next lecture of your AC circuit, we will be talking about transformers. What are transformers? Transformers are used to either increase your voltage or decrease the voltage. There are two kinds of transformers, step up or step down transformer. That we will see in the next lecture. Until then, you can revise your topics and solve as many problems as you can. And if you have any doubt, you can just ask in your doubt group.